What's up, everybody? It's your man, the Moose Fan. When I started this channel today, I reached out to a friend of mine, somebody who I consider probably one of the most knowledgeable Moosehead fans that I know of anyway. He's been going to the games most of his life. A lot of people who attend the building know who he is. But I reached out to him and asked if he wants to help with the channel, and he agreed to. He graciously agreed to. So we're gonna do a quick Zoom meeting with him, and we're just gonna touch on some key points that's going on with the team right now, and we'd love to get your guys' opinions in the comments below. And I'd like to make this a once a week occurrence where we kind of shoot the shit and discuss all things Moose. Anyways, without further ado, here is Mr. Dylan Gorman. All right, what's up, Dylan?
What's going on? I don't know who this knowledgeable Moosehead fan you were talking about is, but somehow you got stuck with me.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy. I hope that we only have to do this video once, because I've never recorded a video wearing these headphones. So we might have to do this again, bud. But
looks fine to me.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so I spoke to Dylan today, and he gave me some really good critique on the first video, which I'm always open to critique. And there's a few things that I could have discussed on the first video, so he agreed, as I said, to help me out with the videos, talking points, and he said we should talk about the Doomer, the Doomer situation.
Some big news coming out with Dume today. Today was the day where the NHL teams had to have their final rosters in by, and Dume hasn't been playing any games, or he hasn't even actually been practicing with the team. So a lot of people have been speculating on what it was. Were they keeping him up there to just learn, or were there possibly other things that were going on?
And even us in the in the building, we talked. There's probably about 100 of us that all know each other and talk to each other, and we have our own speculations, and without any word from any official word, it's just hearsay, and we're left to our own imagination.
Yeah, so for the most part, the general consensus, at least for the most people that I've talked to, it seemed to be what ended up coming out was that there was a potential injury there. And it's been released today that Columbus Blue Jackets have put him on their injured reserve list, which doesn't make him take up a roster spot for them, but it also doesn't send him back down to the Mooseheads.
Yeah.
There's no word exactly on what this injury is. Is it related to his injury that he had that he sustained last year in the playoffs, which was a separated shoulder that he ended up playing through? And once you separate your shoulder once, it's very easy for it to happen multiple times after that, more frequently.
Was it his shoulder? So, I thought it was his wrist for some reason.
No, he was playing through a separated shoulder.
Okay, all right.
And that was released at the end of the season with all of the player injuries that we're going through. Like LaRue last year was playing through concussion. Actually, I got it right here. I'll pull it up right quick.
Yeah.
LaRue or Biasco wanted to play through a broken collarbone. They wouldn't allow him.
Yep.
Moravets suited up with a badly injured elbow.
And then injured himself again. He came back and then injured himself again. Yeah.
Yeah. Dume had a separated shoulder. LaRue had whiplash. And then Wynot and Furlong both finished with full face shields on last year because of injuries to the face.
I remember that. Now, the best thing is injuries heal for the most part. But if let's say best case scenario, Mr. Dume recovers. Yeah, let's say he recovers 100%.
Which everybody honestly hopes he does, just for him.
100%. Now, if he does, what do you think that means for where he's going?
Well, it depends on how long it takes him to return, right?
Well,
how long it takes him to, quote unquote, get fully back to 100%, if he ever will be the 100% again. Because again, we don't 100% know what this upper body injury that they announced is.
Yep.
It might not be related to last year. It could have been something that happened in the preseason game or at practice. It could have been something that happened. He could have went riding a motorbike down the road or bicycle down the road and fell. We don't know.
Well,
that's the extent where we're at right now.
The reason I pulled that up, though, the reason I mentioned that is because the Blue Jackets, they petitioned the CHL to keep Dumais as an underager in the AHL instead of coming back to the Q. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if let's say he heals 100%, and he's able to skate by the end of October, let's just say hypothetically, where do you think he's going to be?
Well, they've already said that they would send him back.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It was already said that he was coming back. It was also in the game day program that they were sending him back. I want to say it was Saturday's game day program
against Armada,
where they said that he was going to be sent back, that they decided that they weren't going to go through with the exemption, the attempt,
which we discussed a couple weeks ago, that with the announcement of the captains and the assistants, that the Moose probably already knew that going into naming him an assistant captain.
Yeah, my speculation would be, again, pure speculation, would be that there had to have been some communication between the Mooseheads organization and the Columbus Blue Jackets on what they plan on doing with them and where things lie.
Yeah.
Columbus doesn't have to do that, but a lot of the NHL teams will talk to the junior teams just to kind of give them a heads up, like, hey, we're going to keep this guy, so you might have to go look for somebody else to fill that role, or you might, like, we're going to send them back. They just want to let them know, like, what their future is. And it's one of the reasons that the CHL, like, that rule is in place with the AHL, that players can't play up there from the CHL until they're 20, because they want to keep the teams somewhat competitive. It's also for the developmental of...
Yeah, it's also so you don't throw kids into the fire pit with people who can typically harm them and ruin their career, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you also got to realize that there might not have been many exemptions, if any, that I can think of, other than this year with Shane Wright getting the exemption from the CHL to the AHL. And everybody says that doesn't exist, that the exemption doesn't exist.
Yeah, enough money, the exemption exists.
the exemptions never exist until the first person does it. Nice flag.
I like that. Yeah. I got
my brain screwed up. It doesn't happen until the first person gets it. There was an exemption list in the CHL for 15-year-olds to play until the first person got it. Yeah. Once the first person got it, it opened up the gates for more people to get it.
Yeah.
There's always room for that to grow. So for Dumais, they've said that he's going to be coming back, but for them to put him on injured reserve and not actually send him back, it's kind of got me worried on how serious this upper body injury might actually be.
So let's try not to worry about that for now. Let's say he's going to be recovered and playing by Christmas at the very latest. What do you think that means for players like Levesque?
Well, see, in my opinion, Levesque already made that point. It's not so much the players like Levesque that I'm worried about when it comes to him coming back. The main ones that I think that'll be fighting for that spot, because there'll be only one spot available out of these two players that I'm about to name, and that's Fontaine and Mosier. They've been down on the fourth line.
Yep.
So,
but Mosier came in strong in that Titan game.
Exactly, but many players have in a 9 whatever win. Right, when your team gets 9 points, almost everybody got on the board that game.
That's true. Yeah.
But they're the two rookies on defense that haven't been lighting it up like Levesque.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We see McKenzie on the defensive side, who is sitting these games because we have that full healthy defensive roster.
Yeah.
So when we have that full healthy offensive roster, Levesque already secured his spots with the points that he's getting with playing those first and second line minutes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was
Levesque,
surprised. I was very surprised to see him on first line. Very surprised.
he earned it.
Yeah,
He
well,
earned it.
but the thing is, he started on first line, first game. So to me, I was like, I was very surprised to see him there that early. And 100%, he earned it. I'm not taking it. The kid's got wheels and a stick.
And that's something that we needed after Lawrence
yeah,
moved on.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Like that's a big thing we needed after Lawrence moved on.
Yeah.
But
now, I gotta say,
go ahead.
The one thing that I was saying at the beginning of this video, I hope we can do this once a week. I think it's really good to hash this out and to hear other people's opinions as well. The thing you guys are gonna find is that me and Dylan very rarely agree on anything Moosehead, so it's gonna make for some good topics. I think next time we should probably talk goalies, defense. We bat heads a bit there. But this was a really good time to talk about this. The reason we're talking about it is because Dylan said, it's a hot topic. Let's talk about it right now. And right now, you're right. It's up in the air. We have no idea what's going on with this kid.
I just hope, and I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching this video, or if anybody, whether you're a Moose fan, whether you're a hockey fan or not, a person's health, a person like injury status or health in general comes in top priority.
100%.
If heaven forbid the unfortunate situation that he's never able to fully play hockey again or able to play at the level that he needs to get to where he's going, I just hope that he's at that point where, again, like I said, we don't know what this injury is. We just hope that it's something that he can get through and be able to live his life, whether it's his shoulder giving him an issue and he's not able to move it right now, or whether it's an elbow or wrist, ribs, neck, we don't know.
Yeah.
So we just hope that he gets to a point where it's no longer affecting him, even if he, heaven forbid, he's ever unable to play again.
Yeah, I just want him to do what he loves. Like, he's exactly. A good kid, and keep in mind, like, a lot of people don't understand when they're judging these kids is they're just simply that. They're fucking kids.
16 to 20.
Right? Like, they still
some guys they're not even 16 yet. You got Eddie Doyle who played a game.
15 years old.
Reese Pike started last year at 15.
Magic's 15 years old.
He's not on the team.
Well, he was. He played. He was on the
Here's
bench.
The start
for
the
first
goalie.
two, yeah.
Here's the start of the goalies.
He was on the team for the first. He's a call-up, right? The first two games when Russo was at camp.
Associate player.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to touch on too, and I'm drawing a blank right now. This is what scripts are for, right? Is there anything else you want to touch on while I'm thinking?
Well, going back to your video earlier. What you go ahead before you forget it.
All right, okay. So I also wanted to touch on Russo or Leroux. Leroux, he got called up to the Knights. The Knights?
No, he's with
Predators.
Nashville.
Predators, that's right. He's been released to their AHL and then switched to
the Milwaukee Admirals.
And then traded again to another team.
I didn't see that.
I think it's in our group texts. I'm going to pull it up real quick so that I'm not misquoting anybody. But it was...
the one I think you're talking about is Doucette.
Oh, yes. I apologize. It was Doucette. I apologize. I don't know why I thought it was Leroux. It was Doucette. He was drafted to the...
No, I'm gonna stop you there.
Go ahead.
Here's how it went. So Doucette was an undrafted player.
So he was a free agent.
Year.
Okay.
Last year in the playoffs, he signed last year, he signed as a free agent with the Detroit Red Wings.
Yes.
He was at their training camp. He played their preseason games, and he got sent down to their AHL.
So wait, let's not gloss over that, because he dressed for quite a few games, like preseason games. Like they kept him for longer than I thought they were going to keep him.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
but they were one of the first teams to start doing the cuts.
Yeah.
But so he got sent down to their AHL team, which is the Griffins.
Yeah.
The Grand Rapids Griffins.
And
so then recently, today, They just released him and reassigned him down to the ECHL, to the Toledo Wall.
So, what do you think of that? The reason I'm asking is because last year he was a force, an absolute force on the ice for us.
Yep.
And did it not translate to NHL?
So that's my thing. Like, we talk about like age and experience and stuff. Trying to make the NHL rosters in general, and Detroit is a difficult team to crack right now because they are growing.
Yep.
Anybody in general, it's hard to crack the lineup whether you're a top 1 or top 2 pick.
Yeah, but to
right?
not even stay with their farm team.
So I'm getting there. So it's hard to crack the lineup if you're not a first or second overall pick, being like a Connor Bedard or an Adam Fantilli of this year.
Oh my God!
Both making their team. So what it is with Doucette being an undrafted player and a free agent invite, that makes it even harder to crack the lineup of these teams.
100%.
And Detroit only has so many roster spots, and Grand Rapids Griffins only have so many roster spots. So the team, they already have so many people that are under contract that if his play, for whatever reason, if they don't feel that he's ready to play with the guys in the AHL who are either comfortable staying there or trying to push their way up, because you got two different groups in the AHL. You got the veteran guys who are okay with staying there, and you got the young, hungry guys who are trying to work their way up.
Yeah.
If he's not out battling either one of them, the next thing is down to the East Coast Hockey League.
Yeah, but it's not like he was, he's not fighting Dumay's issues, where Dumay's issue is size. 100% Dumay's issue is size. A lot of teams are scared to keep him on because of size. But he's not fighting that problem. Doucette had a good size. He could make the play. He was his hockey IQ was amazing. I just don't get. I know at that level, right? But I don't know, it's confusing to me.
It goes. He was really good on the junior level. He was one of the top players at the junior level. To make that jump to the next one, it can be such a gap that I'm going to say this just because it's the easiest way to, as an analogy, but I'm not calling. If you have a really nice shiny rock compared to a bunch of beat up old rocks, the nice shiny one's going to stand out more.
Yeah.
But if you put that shiny rock with a bunch of other shiny rocks, is it going to stand out as much? Is it going to be as noticeable?
No, I get it.
And I think that's where it fell into. I think he just kind of fell into the wayside of they gave him every chance that they could to crack the lineup and to show what he can do, but they just, maybe he didn't stand out in their eyes.
And I apologize for interrupting there. Oh my God, you know how I feel about Connor McDavid. Yeah, Connor Bernard.
Yeah. You don't even know his name.
Yeah, he's not worth it to me. All right. I mean, I think that was great. That was a great first episode. Let us know what you want it to be called. Like, I was thinking, like, so a play on the word herd. The herd's the word or whatever for these little talks. But it's gonna have to have a name. And
I think we should get some other fans in on this.
Yeah, I agree.
And what about let us be heard?
Let us be heard. I like that too. I actually really like that. I like that a lot.
If we get a couple more fans in here, then it's not just me and you going back and forth. We can get other people jumping in too.
An open offer. Anybody who wants to get in here and say their 2 cents, we would love to do a Zoom call with you. A lot of people don't like being forefront and spotlight and be seen, but you
don't have to have your video on either. You can do it.
That's true. Voice. That's true. Myself, I've always been a whore for the limelight, and Dylan, I'm assuming the same. Wrestling background and such,
cool
right?
Point.
So yeah. So we don't mind getting out here in front of the mic and in front of the cameras and talking. But if you're willing, shoot us a comment down below. We'll send you an email, and you can hash it out with us. There's a few people I'd love to have come on the show. Jimmy O'Rourke. I'd love to see your attitude come in here and keep that same energy in here, bud. I'd love to hear from.
I'm not touching that one.
I'd love to hear from Laura. Let's hear what Laura has to say. She's always got an opinion on something, and I'm not saying that in a rude way.
Hey, there's no such thing as a wrong opinion.
That's right. Agreed. 100%.
Right? No matter what, there's no such thing as a wrong opinion.
She would love this episode because it's all pro Dumais, and she's a huge Dumais supporter. Laura, I know we've had our differences on Facebook,
and there's nothing wrong with being a pro Dumais supporter.
I agree 100%. All right, so that's it for me. You got anything else you want to leave, Ed?
No, that's it for me. That's all I got.
All right, guys. I hope you're all healthy, safe, and happy out there. And as always, go Moose, go.
Go Moose.